There you are. Hey, do you remember this project? Yeah, about that. That never worked for me. Let's build something else.
Yes, I cut all the pieces for this project to size in the time it took you to watch that montage. And for 3 easy payments of $29.95, $86.42, I'll teach that to you as well. If you buy that, I got some oceanfront property in the mountains I'll sell you for cheap. Hey everyone, Stan here, and I'm gonna put some storage cabinets on my walls. Why, you ask? Well, it keeps them off the floor of my garage for one. The design I've decided to go with is a minimalist approach. Actually, it's a cheap-ass bastard approach. It's called spade a spade. Fewer materials means less cost. I got 4 kids, judge someone else. If you got an extra set of hands, you should use an extra set of hands. I do, so I am. Now, I am not going to put a backing of any kind on these cabinets. It's going on a wall, and the wall is going to serve as the back. Saves that material cost. I'm also not using a face front. Boom! Cheaper still. However, that does pose a layer of complexity. I'm going to hang flush mount doors on the front, and if the box is not perfectly square now, it's going to show later. So I'm going to take an extra moment to make sure both diagonal measurements are the same, and I'm also going to use this as a teaching moment for my son as well. I was only off by 1/8 of an inch, so I only needed a 1/16 of an inch adjustment. You just take whatever you're off and divide that by 2. Yep, scientifical. With everything square, it's to the miter saw to cut some 1x4s. These will be attached to the carcass of each cabinet and used to mount them to the wall as well. After a quick dry fit, I'll grab my pocket hole jig and jig me some pocket holes. I didn't show it because it gets boring, but I'm actually using 4 pocket holes along the top and 2 along the sides. Should be good. Now, I can hear the question, dude, what's you using for hardware? Well, since you asked, I'm using these wing screwy anchor thingies. Yeah, it's scientifical too. I have a thing I do to mark the position of each of the mounting hardware, and a tape measure is nowhere to be found for it either. I just place the cabinet against the wall, level it out, then tap the bolts with a hammer, which marks their position on the wall. See that? Gorgeous. Now drill them out. Be sure to take as much of the insulation inside the wall as possible, or you ain't doing it right. If I leveled this correctly the first time, then I don't need to level it again here. I'm just making sure. You can see an electrical panel for the air handler on the wall there, and yes, that means there are live wires nearby. In my case, the wiring runs straight up into the attic from the left of that panel, and I'm gonna make sure I'm not drilling or mounting metal hardware too close to that panel. So I'm actually only using 2 bolts at the top of this cabinet to keep my safe zone. Point is, when mounting anything on walls, always be sure to know where your wiring is running. It usually runs straight up, but I've seen some pretty weird things in my time, so just be careful. Some iron-on edge banding to cover the exposed edges of the plywood, if one cares about stuff like that. I mean, it is a shop project after all. Whenever I see someone throwing cabinets or furniture out on the side of the road, I like to stop and smell the roses. No, I like to check out what hardware is being thrown out as well. That's where I got these. They're old, rusty, and perfect in my opinion. Mounting hinges can get complicated if you let it, and probably deserves its own video, so I'm not gonna go too in-depth here. First, I'll measure for the offset so I can drill for the cup hole. This is 3/16 of an inch for me, and I find that's pretty consistent for a lot of hinges like this. Where you're gonna wanna be careful is the overlay and maybe the degree of opening. Anyway, I'm not gonna go too far into that, as I said earlier, maybe another video. The depth is easy to gauge with the bits that I have. Where the silver meets the black is where I stop. I'm using 3 hinges per door because of the size and the weight they have to support. I don't want saggy doors later on. Nobody likes saggy doors. The rest? Well, that's simple and easy. Just gotta make sure you don't strip them out. Mounting the doors? It's not too difficult either. Just stack some junk so the door sits flush with the bottom of the cabinet. And vroom vroom! Oh, I got this instructional thing going on today. Snap, snap. These hinges, like most hinges of this type, can be adjusted front to back, up and down. And there you have it, cabinets hung on a wall. Now obviously building cabinets like this presents some problems when you're assembling them, because when you're putting a back on a cabinet, you can kind of cheat a little bit and use that to help square the carcass up. But obviously I didn't have that in this situation. If I'd have done that, that would have added time and cost, and well, I didn't want to pay either one of those. And no, I'm not finished with them. I'm going to continue with my New Year's resolution and put some color in my workshop. So this brown is gonna go. I'm gonna paint them. I've got some aqua, teal, bluey stuff over here. I've started over on that side of my workshop, so I may actually bring that over to this side. Oh, I also got to take care of the raw edges on the doors as well. I've kind of left them like that because I was running out of time. And, well, I just had to go live life. Plus some doorknobs. I got some drawer pulls around here somewhere. I might use those. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll never miss a new video. Smash that thumbs up button. Leave your comments down below.